Hello everybody, welcome to another review. Today I'm going to be reviewing a brand new album by All Time Low, Everyone's Talking. Them doing a bad cosplay of the Wiggles because the colours aren't quite right. But I can say that at least it's more eye-catchy and interesting. Sure, it looks simple to make, but do you know that Tell Me I'm Alive just used a font on a background? Do you know how easy that is to do on Photoshop? I feel like that's not really hard to replicate. It's quite a lazy album, from the album art to just the horrendous writing, the awful pop rock sound. It wasn't even rock at any point. It was entirely just going for a sound that you will see from many artists that are overplayed on major radio stations. Like you will fit in with Ed Sheeran, Maroon 5. Like that's how low all-time low gone from that. That was definitely an all-time low for them. But 2020 hasn't always been the best year for them. They had the accusation back in 2021, and that did kind of get me a bit skeptical on the band. But looking into it, I think that's fake from what I've seen, considering the fact that they've taken it to basically discuss with the lawyer. I think they had it taken to court to figure out what was happening, and it was revealed that the identities were actually numerous people in a group disguised as one person. So I don't really believe that they did it, and I don't really know much else than that. I'm not really educated on the subject matter, but I definitely know that was a thing. But 2023, that was just a pretty bad album. But now we got a more interesting, better album. It's more eye-catching, if anything, whereas the other one just looks like you can make it in 5 minutes in Photoshop. So at least we kind of got something a little bit more original with this new Everyone's Talking. Now, sound-wise, I don't think the album is doing anything wonderful, but with just how low the previous album was, Tell Me I'm Alive, this just feels like a magnificent step up in comparison. It's certainly not one of the best albums from the band, though, by far. It misses the pop punk aspect and just feels more like it plays with pop and rock, which isn't a bad idea, and I think this is kind of similar to what bands like Good Charlotte do. They still have some of their energy of punk, especially within tracks like Everyone's Talking, but at the same time you're still going to miss it with some of these, and it just kind of feels like we're just getting a more clean experience than the Motel record from Charlotte, because that was pretty bad. But no, I don't think the quality is much higher. I feel like All Time Low have managed to kind of find a base ground that old fans, new fans can enjoy, but I just kind of wish they leaned more into the pop punk, because it kind of feels a bit more basic in some way, but not necessarily as bad as what we had before. Some of the features are pretty decent as well. JoJo's a decent feature. Rustin Kelly's fine. Nothing too crazy or that great, but it's there. There's a lot of songs on this album, and I think that's kind of another downfall of it. Didn't necessarily need as much here, especially with how some of these songs are about 2 minutes mainly, so you're kind of done with it and then straight to the next one. But I think with All Time Low, they are just trying to find their phone once again, and this is probably for the best that they start off slow. If they want to go back into pop punk, they probably want to ease into it more, but I don't know, I just kind of wish this had a little bit more of that energy to it. The writing's fine. I think they generally are bringing back some decent lyrics and decent ideas instrumentally, and the energy that they actually have is certainly a lot more not stronger than what we had. And there's just, honestly, it's just nice that All Time Low have kind of got the they kind of charm back in some case. It's just decent. I think I just kind of expected it to just kind of be a magnificent return to form, and I don't think it's quite that, but I still think it's a big step right in the right direction. But I don't really see myself being going into it despite that. Maybe a couple of songs here and there, but this just definitely feels like more or less the just kind of radio album of theirs. I feel like this one still is very accessible, just not with the entire pop audience. I can just see this as kind of the pop rock fans like massive, just kind of a massive wish list of a record, and that's fine if that's what they want to go for. But yeah, I'm still not quite digging it, to be honest. But hey, I'll take it. Everyone's talking is definitely definitely not as bad as I was anticipating it to be. So I went in with low expectations just because of, obviously I've mentioned numerous times I don't like the previous album, but I think it actually somewhat succeeded what I expected. It's certainly not anything great, but I kind of anticipated that would be the case. I remember listening to the Ono single, I believe, for my review, and I thought that one was decent. If that was decent, that's kind of how I feel with pretty much most of this album. There's not a bad song or like a downright awful song. I think they keep the consistency. I just don't think they're very bold enough to push something with a lot more ambition, ideas to it. A lot of people have been talking that this is definitely a highlight for them, and I understand that this might be like one of the more interesting, better releases in a while, but not for me. I think this is just kind of a standard album, and I'm going to leave it there. It's 2.5 out of 5 is what I'm going to give it, because it's definitely alright. It doesn't quite lean into bad, and it doesn't quite lean into that good, so I think this is kind of the perfect point to have it. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Hope you enjoy. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next video.